What's up, you guys? We're back for Do That But Better. I'm Zach with my brother here, Eric. Eric, how you been?
Been well, doing yeah, doing well. It's warming up. We're on
So,
the downhill to warmth.
do you really think that it is going to be warm?
I
I
mean,
mean,
just like when you're climbing a mountain, you got false summits on the way up,
yes,
or on the way down, you're gonna have to hit a couple bumps on the way.
I'm really nervous about what like the next like 4 weeks are going to entail with
I
weather
know.
because
Yep.
I'll tell you what, on Sunday I was outside playing basketball with Shane and it was like 50 degrees, 40 degrees, something like that, but it was nice, sunny, and it brought me back to playing basketball with Greg Lyon and grade school. And I vividly remember like these bands. It was uh, Soundgarden, Nirvana, Cranberries, Alanis Morissette, uh, and
You
did I
like
say
Pearl
Nirvana?
Jam?
Pearl Jam. And actually, so Shane was like, "Hey, he went and got his radio," and I felt like I was a kid. So he's got this little radio, and he's like, "What should we put on?" I was like, "Pearl Jam Versus, of course." And so, and it's funny because I never listened to Pearl Jam ever, and but it was like this is exactly what we need to do. And I was talking to Natalie about it, and she was like, uh, that was like your kid flow state, and it was because I totally remember it like, especially when it was just like me and him. There was not a lot of talking. We'd be playing like one on one. We might be shooting around or whatever, but like the only talking would really be like, "Oh, nice," or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And like there was that grunge soundtrack. It was the '90s grunge soundtrack, and like, man, it was just awesome. And guess what happened? I touched the rim or on Sunday. Woo! 40 years, 40 years it took me, and I
Has there
touched
been
the
a
rim.
Have you used a tape measure on that
I don't
hoop
care.
that's in your front
I
yard?
touched a 10-foot rim. I
That
don't care what it was. And now
on a driveway that's like this?
I went straight at it too, just for that. Now here's the funny thing is that I did it multiple times that day because I went and ran in the house and told everybody, and I made them come out and watch me. And then I had Natalie take a video, and I didn't post it because it doesn't necessarily look like I touched it. It might have been the like like the hook that holds the net.
Yeah,
it might
right.
it might have been that, but I touched it multiple times, so I don't even care. And I'm gonna have to get a video of me grabbing it.
Was this a two-footed jump or one-footed?
It was 1 foot. So it was like I took like a 3 step
Hmm.
and up. But dude, like you don't even understand. I was like, Shane, we're done playing for the day. This is it.
Well, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
You never in high school?
No, dude, in high school, and I tell this story all the time. In high school, we were getting ready. Like he was like, "Hey, when we go into our games, we're gonna circle the court. Everyone's gonna go up and hit the backboard."
Oh
And
yeah.
and I missed by about a foot. And he's like, "Zach, go do that again." I was like, "Please don't make me." He's like, "Okay, we're gonna throw the ball off the backboard," and we're all just like, I was like, "Thank you, I can do that."
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
crazy. I could definitely hit the backboard.
nope, not me.
Wow. Good thing you
Yep.
went to cross country.
Yeah,
Less
that was even
explosiveness needed.
that was even better. But yeah,
Anyway, so your soundtrack is a
hmm
good segue
yeah,
because it created an environment that puts you into that like flow, fun state. Which, side note, I suggest everyone do that whenever people are like feeling burnt out, or especially like parents, they'll say like I don't feel like myself, like I don't know myself anymore. First thing I always tell them is listen to like your high school soundtrack
Yeah.
because you're probably listening to the Wheels on the Bus nonstop, and it like immediately snaps you right back into this state that you were in when you were in that environment. And since it's Valentine's Day, we're talking about relationships,
Mm.
which are essentially the most powerful thing in your environment. So, like creating habits, getting healthy. We talk about setting up your environment, like cleaning out your pantry, and like, making your breakfast the night before. You're creating an environment to be healthy in. But the people around you, like they are the strongest part of that environment. And the way that they're living and impacting you is going to have a huge impact on your health.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just think about grade school, high school. You had, we had you had the jocks, right? You had the skaters, you had the hippies, you had, the theater people, you know, and whatever it
Yep.
was, and it totally influenced. And actually, I feel like in high school, I was part of multiple things throughout my high school career, and it was like, hey,
Hmm.
I played basketball freshman year, but then I got cut, and it was like, all right, we're not doing the same stuff anymore, and all of a sudden, hey, we were skating, and because that was the next thing that I did. So my
Hmm.
pants changed, it was like, all right, we had the baggy pants and whatever. And yeah, just like continuously it would change by what you were doing. And even I don't even know if kids smoke anymore, but it was like, all
Vape.
right, yeah, they vape. But it was like if your friends were smoking, you were probably going to smoke, you
Hmm.
know? And yeah, just the things that we would go out to Baker Square, right? Like that was the cool thing. And what do you do at Baker Square? You grab some food, some coffee. Like everyone started drinking coffee. People started smoking, and you ate a bunch of Reubens.
Yeah. And even before that, like your parents. I remember hearing a story on the radio. They were talking about like beliefs that you've had for a long time that
Hmm.
then realized were not real or like were stupid. And these are like silly ones. So one person, they had chicken, like their mom only ever made chicken.
Okay.
And not until she got into college and went to a cafeteria did she realize people ate other stuff all the time and was like amazed, telling her friends, like, can you believe, like, friends were complaining about the food in the cafeteria. And this person was like, what are you talking about? Like, they make something different every day. How, like, it's amazing.
That is
And then,
insane.
yeah. And she asked her mom, and she was like, you just really, that's all you really liked was chicken. So we only ever had chicken. Go out to a restaurant, only got chicken.
Didn't she not read the menu? Like, and see that there was other things? Like, that is
But like,
absolutely insane.
right. And so you grow up in that environment of like, this is what you eat, this is how you eat. You know, maybe you only eat out or only ever eat like canned or boxed meal prep things.
Yeah.
You don't know how to cook, right? And so like that environment creates it. And then like you said, high school or like college, your roommates, the people
Hmm.
you hang out with, then you learn eating habits from them, and then you get married.
Yeah.
Right? Now you like that's a huge one, I think. Um, you know, when you put the kids to bed and one person's like, I could really go for some ice cream. I know I shouldn't, but I could really go for some. And then it's like the
Why
side
don't
eye of
we?
like,
Why don't
yeah,
we?
you're like
Yeah.
waiting to see if the other person, are you going to affirm it or are you going to deny it?
Yeah.
And you like feed into this, well, let's just do it.
Yeah.
It's like total social pressure.
Yeah. We actually so we have a group right now that's working on nutrition, and So, like you were saying with habits, so one of the things that we're doing is really noticing sugar, grains, dairy, right? And it's sort of funny because we're like, hey, we want you to really focus on meat and vegetables, right? Like we want to make sure that we get them in. And it's like, well, can I have cottage cheese for my protein? It's like, hold on. We were like, let's focus on these things, right? Or hey, can I use these artificial sweeteners? There are no calories. It's like, do you realize that we have this like just addiction, like I can't have this without sweet, you know?
Yep.
And these are things that we've just been built into. And if you go to the store, everything is going to have sugar in it. If you go to a restaurant, everything is going to have sugar on it because it just it makes you feel happy.
Yep.
but yeah, if everything around you is shoving this into your face, it's very easy because everyone goes, it's not so bad.
Yep.
And now yeah, you've changed your opinion on it, or you don't even know that you did.
Yeah.
Oh, did you just
Yeah.
freeze?
And again, like in Milwaukee, the company I worked for, every Friday, a bunch of people went across the street to the Mexican restaurant
Hmm.
and had a couple margaritas,
Yeah.
and it just adds up. And it's like, do you want to be in that group? Because we all work together and you see each other every day. And like, if you want to be, a sales rep, a regional rep, that's what they all do.
Right.
And so you start to feel that pressure from those relationships and the people around you. But that's really only the first layer because we all prefer to put that responsibility out there of like, well, I'm surrounded by all these people who are influencing me. And so, how could I be expected to work out and eat clean
Oh yeah, I had to.
when, yeah, when, like, from their perspective, the way you're saying it, they're influencing you. So, how can you influence other people? So then, like, that's the other question to ask. First, how are the people around me influencing my health and those habits? But then, how am I influencing other people? So like I said, with a spouse or really anyone, like, I could really go for. It's like that the SNL skit with Chris Farley and Adam Sandler and David Spade, where they're all
Okay.
like the mall chicks,
Yeah.
and Chris Farley's they get fries, and he's just like eating something like, aren't you supposed to be on a diet? Lay off, I'm starving. Uh, anyway, but yeah, like how are there people around you that you are influencing with your habits?
Yeah.
So, are you the one pressuring someone to like just grab a beer, have another beer, or, whatever it is, family in the house? Man, this is like the hardest thing. I would always encourage, if I was working with one person who was married, encourage their spouse to do the same thing because one person dieting, it gets
Oh,
tough.
oh,
Like,
so hard.
yeah, because either the person who's doing the shopping and probably cooking is dieting, and then the other person is unhappy about the new food they're eating, or
Yeah.
the person who's dieting is not doing the shopping and cooking, and
Yeah.
so then they're like, "Well, what am I supposed to do? You're not making the food that I need."
Yeah. And yeah, taking that responsibility, I think is so important. And um, actually, I was talking to somebody recently, like their spouse, um, they were told that they have high blood pressure and they need to have no salt. And so they're like, and I'm getting pissed because I got to cook with no salt. And it's like I want to have salt. And actually, well, so strangely enough, one of the things I was thinking about is doctors go straight to, all right, don't eat salt. And so um they start cooking stuff with no salt and it tastes like crap. Yet they didn't tell them to stop eating potato chips and all these packaged foods that have more salt than you could ever put on your food. And it's like, dude, we got to go the opposite way and like stop eating processed
Hmm.
foods, stop eating garbage, right? And start eating some like meat and vegetables and put a little bit of salt on it because you probably can't
Yeah.
overdo it if you can
Or like
taste
move your body.
it and move your body. Yeah. But yeah,
That
but I
was
mean,
totally Grandma and Grandpa,
oh yeah.
where our grandpa was on blood pressure medication, couldn't have any salt, and our grandma smoked for 60 years and couldn't taste anything. So she'd cook everything with no salt and then just dump it on her food.
I'll tell you what, I am totally her with salt. Like, now, number one, that is my secret ingredient. Like, whenever Natalie's like, "What did you put in this?" I'm like, "Salt, just." That is that is literally all that I use. But I feel like people don't use enough, and and yeah, it makes food taste really freaking good. But people
Oh,
sort of shy away from it.
I salt my water,
There you go. Yeah.
which if you're active and sweating a lot, it's okay.
By the way, to keep it a healthy environment, I am drinking a bubbly. This is not a pop. Although in our house, this is called pop. I'm like, go get me a pop.
That's solid. I should start doing that. We call it bubble water.
Yeah, well, so we will. Like if I say, "Hey, go get me," or like, actually, we sent the kids to the store the other day to get some, and I was like, "Go get me some bubble water." But when it's in the house, it's like, "Can you go grab me a pop?"
Uh,
But yeah. So, anyways, back to environment, and I think that this is one of the most important things about CrossFit is, especially being part of a gym. You know, you are in a environment where everyone is looking to improve their fitness in some way, whether it's body composition or health or performance or whatever it is. But when you walk into a CrossFit gym, uh, number one, you're going to get things done, but you're also like around people who are possibly doing the things that you want to do, right?
mhm.
And so you might have somebody who is really good when it comes to nutrition, and when they ask you to come to a barbecue, you're like, yeah, great. And guess what? It's all real food, and it's still going to your goals, right? When they ask you to go and maybe go out on the weekends, it might be for fun things like maybe you're going rock climbing, maybe you're going for a bike ride, maybe you're going for a run, maybe you're going to the
Mhm.
beach, right? As opposed to, hey, why don't we get blitzed and eat a bunch of pizzas, you know?
Yep.
And I think that's a huge thing when it comes to even like you get your Planet Fitness where it's like, hey, they have pizza on Fridays, and it's like that's fine, but to me, the uh, that space is pretty sacred, and actually
Mhm.
we have some rules. So um, we don't allow like crap food to come in, and this is not a judgment, right? What it is it's a safe place. And
Mhm.
I don't want anyone to ever think that you can't have cupcakes on your birthday and, whatever, or whenever the heck you want. But if you're going to this place to improve your health, right, then we should make this a place where you never have to say no, right? And so actually, people started when it's somebody's birthday, they bring cuties and things like that, and it's a pretty awesome environment. And I think that it started out like when it was said that, hey, we gotta stop bringing things in um, that people might have to say no to, you know.
Mhm.
um, it almost feels like a judgment, but it's like, no, we just want to establish um, a place of health, right? and it should be solely that, but it
Yeah.
should still be fun.
Yeah. Well, and like, I mean, it's just confusing. So different people have different foods. Like, we talk about it as like red light, yellow light, green light foods.
Hmm.
Red light foods are foods that if it's in front of you, you're going to eat it all. You cannot control yourself. Yellow light foods are like, it's not great for me, but like I can handle it. And green light foods are like, eat them all you want.
Yeah.
And those are different for different people. Some people have no problem saying no to a donut. Other people, especially like if you got new members at the gym who
Hmm.
are just learning all this nutrition stuff and have no clue and they've never cooked before, then seeing all like the fittest people, all the gym rat members
Yeah.
all crowded around a box of donuts, and you're like, so can I eat
This
donuts too? It's like,
absolutely.
that's not great. What you should do is get like an alarm and just have a donut box on the on the desk, and when it opens, the alarm goes off.
That's hilarious.
Then everyone knows you caved. Don't do it.
That's like the old Sabotas our parents used to always talk about. It was a restaurant that in the women's bathroom there was
Oh
like
yeah.
the statue of David with a fig leaf over his junk, and if you lifted it, there an alarm went off outside in the restaurant, and so everyone would clap when when he came out of the bathroom. Best
Uh,
idea ever.
yep. So yeah, um, I feel like the CrossFit gym is a great example of, like if you're the new member, you enter in and you've immediately been surrounded by people who are going to have a positive influence on your health. And then you become the person that as new people join and as you like go out into your life, now you're becoming the person who influences the people around you more positively. Getting there though means addressing the relationship with yourself because like we said, like with the couple scenario where you can justify to each other, going around whatever habits that you want to have and sticking to like less healthy habits. And to yourself, you do the same thing where like you convince yourself that it's okay. You give yourself a little too much leash. They talk about the wolves. Which wolf are you going to feed? And I think you got to take an honest assessment of yourself to start and decide like which person do I want to be? Do I want to be the person who's influenced by the people around me who want to go out and whatever eat all the pizza, or do I want to be the person who influences others to make healthier choices?
Yep.
And then, oh, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, and then you can start to look at the relationships around you and say, like, all right, are these, um, like start to know who and what environments you need to pay attention, where like these people are going to try to push me this way, and so I'll pay attention, or these people need me to guide them this direction. And so, like, assessing yourself first gives you the opportunity and the knowledge to go out and be that positive influence in other people's lives.
Yeah. That was a really hard thing for me. So, when I started getting into CrossFit, started thinking about nutrition, um, I was in an environment. So,
Okay.
at the firehouse at the time, it was like well, I was the egg eating champion at the firehouse, and I was known for being like a drunk idiot when we went out, and I couldn't say no. Like so when if I was out at the bar and I started drinking, it was like I'm there till 2 in the morning because I don't know when to leave, and it was tough, right? And so like I was being influenced. If somebody said have another one, it's like, oh, okay, or have another piece of pizza. Yeah, watch this. And
Mm-hmm.
like I always I always took the if somebody would dare me to eat something, it's like, all right, load it up, you know, and like I was being led, and it was really hard to break that cycle. And in fact, when I started saying no, I like there was one time in particular where I was trying to leave the bar. Like I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have a couple. I'm gonna like it was after like a softball game or something like that. And I'm trying to go home and I literally got tackled and dragged inside. Like it was that now it, it was all in fun, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like at the time for me, it was already really, really hard. I didn't want to say no, I wanted to hang out with my friends and all that kind of stuff. And I slowly started moving away from those things. And it was like, all right, like maybe I'm not like maybe I'm just not going out after the softball game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult because you feel like you're saying no to your friends, but also I feel like your friends um, will like either accept you, or whether it's accept you, change with you, or however it is. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell anybody else to do what I'm doing. Although I feel like anybody who makes a change tells everybody, like this is what you need to do. But like at the point I am at now, it's like you don't have to tell anybody. So it's like do your thing,
Yep.
and you should accept them. Like if they're still doing the things that you were doing, and they should accept you. And guess what? You might start to part ways a little bit, and that's sort of okay. You know, I like to think of it as, in high school, you guys graduate, and you're like, we're never gonna like stop hanging out, and it's like you get 4 kids later, and like and baseball games and whatever. It's like you might not see them anymore, and it's not that you don't like them. It's not that you don't love them, anything like that. It's like, hey, our where we're at right now, these are the important things, and that's
Mm-hmm.
totally okay.
Yep.
But yeah, that was super hard for me. Making that change and starting to walk away from uh, things that I did and people that I hung out with. And but it was like, all right, this is me, and now it's like, who am I influencing?
Yep. I had very similar experience where it started with raw eggs. I think we were watching Rocky,
Okay.
and someone was like, "That's disgusting." I'm like, "I could drink a raw egg. Like, I'll give you $1 to drink a raw egg." I'm like, "Okay." And then someone else was like, I'll give you one too if you do 2 eggs." I'm like, "Okay, $2 challenge." And then it escalated from there. They kept just like kept getting more and more ridiculous,
Hmm.
eating dares, and like going out and drinking, same thing. Where there was a very specific point where I thought to myself, this is how someone becomes an alcoholic. I was like, I get it. That like you just keep saying yes, and it's not even like the alcohol, it's yeah, the friends of like
Right.
saying yes and being that guy. And that was a big turning point. And now, well, so next week I'm going to Mexico for a wedding,
Hmm.
and high school and college friends will be there, and I've already like started thinking about that. But I know that just from conversations with them, like they're at least like similar paths. We're like older, slightly more mature, but but like where I don't think I'll feel that same pressure
Yeah.
because like I said, like you just grow different ways and you become more aware of yourself and the way that other people influence you. Like that's a huge one is going back to family or old friends. You fall into the old role that you always filled, and it's hard to it's more challenging to stand on your new convictions would be
Hmm.
one way of saying it. Like sticking to your plan now. So going into those situations with a plan helps. Like acknowledging, I think a really good exercise people should do is look at your circles. So my family, my
Hmm.
coworkers, my friends, the people that I spend the most, maybe like the 10 to 20 people I spend the most time with, whether it's on the phone or at work or at home, and put them in those categories. Does this person have a positive impact on my health? Does this person have a negative impact on my health? Do I have a positive impact on their health or a negative impact on their health?
Right.
And now like that's going to give you a template of going into this situation. I'm going to be aware of this person's kind of a pusher, or in this situation I'm kind of a pusher.
Mm.
And now you've got like a template for your environment of how you can be positively influenced and be a positive influence.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I never even thought about that as even yourself as like are you the pusher trying to make
Yeah,
people do things? And yeah, that's I don't know. That's sort of eye-opening. But yeah. Yeah, I feel like especially when it comes to health, um like health and fitness, um it I was actually trying to write an article the other day. Uh but I was listening to Minor Threat, and they've got the one song where it's like I'm out of step with the world, right? And um and I was like, man, that's totally that's often where you want to be, right? You're still there, right? But a little bit out of step because so many things, I mean, just health in the US is not good. Obesity and diabetes and heart disease and the fact that we are straight up remote, like most people are remote and not moving. And it's like I want to be around the people, you know,
hmm
but I also want to make sure that I'm doing the things that are going to be pushing me forward. Whether it's health and fitness, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, and even just like think about like divorce and things like that, right? It's like, all right, how do I stay out of step if 50%, right? It's like, all right, well, what if I have great relationships with all the people that I'm around, whether it's my wife,
hmm
my kids, um, you know, uh, business, whatever it is. What if I only have great relationships? And like you said, you might have to step away from some a little bit to have a great relationship. And
hmm
like maybe I can only see you every so often, and that works really well, and you don't have to say that like I don't love you or anything like that because
hmm
you get to have that break, and you get to do the things that you need to do to keep the relationship solid without causing detriment to you or them. But
Yep.
yeah, like just finding, hey, how can I just be a little bit out of step? And it's like if you're going to McDonald's, I'm going to grab a rotisserie chicken, and it's like, yeah, let's go do that, and
Yep.
and we still get to both eat out.
That's man. I used to show up to Leff's, which is the bar in Wisconsin,
Hmm.
because on Mondays they had build your own burger.
Hmm.
And so I'd meet up with my friends there Monday nights with my Tupperware. They'd build their own burgers. I had my Tupperware.
Yeah.
But so being out of step of the world, I just saw this morning that a study came out. They said as high as 77% of Americans between 18 and 24 would require um, basically like a letter allowing them to enter the military because of not meeting either mental and or physical health requirements.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So
pretty
even
crazy.
if they instated the draft, only 23% of young Americans even qualify to enter the military.
That's absolutely insane.
Yep. I
Yeah.
know we well, not high schoolers now. Two kids from our church who went into the military, both of them are out from injuries
Get out of here,
after less than a year.
man.
Yep. It's crappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, to wrap it up, consider your environment. Like I said, do that audit of the people in your life, those like 10 to 20 people who you interact with the most. Are they impacting you, having a positive impact, negative impact? Are you having a positive or negative impact? And then ask yourself, like, what about the relationship with yourself? What kind of language are you using with yourself around your health habits? Are you letting yourself off the hook? Are you beating yourself up? Or are you being a friend with the arm around the shoulder helping you along?
I like it.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right.
We will. I'm
Velma
leaving
says
it
she
right.
needs new friends.
What's that?
Velma says, I need new friends.
Oh man, I didn't even see any of these comments. That's hilarious. She said, "Now I know why you're always taking it out on us." That's hilarious. But yeah. Oh man, there was all kinds of comments.
I know, I
But
just
yeah,
clicked on it.
so funny. Happy Valentine's Day, Noel. But all right, you guys, we will see you next week. And oh, actually, Noel brought up my van. That was possibly the coolest environment that you could have been in. My spray painted van. It was a creeper
And by
van.
coolest, you mean there were holes in the floor and there was no heat.
That's true, but it also had recliners and a musical horn. So that's how cool it was. But yeah. But all right, you guys, we will see you guys next week for Do That But Better. Eric, have a great week.
All right. See ya.